and we will make America great again. God bless you and good night. I love you.
Hello and welcome to Barbara Strategy. My name is Colonel Jim Medlove and you are watching a woodshop video. Now, normally, as I say, we're going to get to politics. I've got scripts right here ready to go on both politics and this book on The It by Stephen King. It's going to be really good. But today is part 2 of my Order of the White Elephant that we're building. So without any more delay, let's get out in the woodshop and I'll show you the next steps to building this trophy. Okay, first we're going to take this part here. We're going to glue that one, this one, the Mara to the South American walnut. Going to get our glue in here. Now the trick is to put enough glue on that makes it stick, but not put too much. And I am guilty of the sin of too much glue. I have always been guilty of that sin. I end up with way more glue than I need. Of course, it's not that important to me, except the fact that I do realize I probably waste a few drops of glue. But what I realize is that it doesn't really matter, especially if you're turning something. It doesn't matter how ugly or how much glue is protruding from the object. It's going to get shaved off anyway, regardless. So there's our glue. And normally I would put an equal amount of glue on this piece here. In fact, I think what I'll do is if you do end up with more glue on one piece than another, then simply go in and wipe some of it off and coat the other. The idea of gluing, now this looks like plenty of glue to glue a surface to surface. So this would be called butt joining. And, what butt surface is a flat surface against a flat surface without any other joinery. Now, later on, I will be putting some mortise and tinion joinery into this with dowels. But the point, you'd think, well, gosh, with that much glue, just stick the other thing on there and that's it. And that would work. But what you want to do is you want to penetrate all of the microscopic pores of the other board. And of course, different woods have different pores. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you rub it in. It's kind of like hand cream, putting hand cream on your hands, getting it all in your pores, or foot cream. You want to make sure that the pores are completely filled. And the only way to do that is to rub it in. And actually I put enough on this other board. I put the perfect amount for both sides. So see there, now this one, the South American walnut over here doesn't have as much as the Mora does, but it's penetrated all of the pores. I can feel it. It's getting tacky. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to stick it right on top of there. Going to get it square as possible. Push down a little bit like that. And what I'll do, I have these clamps over here, but instead, because I've got these two boards together, I think I'm just going to put it in the vise. Now here's our vise right here. Here's our little sandwich we made. I'm going to put it right in here. I'm going to get these two. See, if I put these two together, they're lined up. I can feel them. A lot of this is on feel. These Band-Aids, I've had a little bit dryness in my thumbs lately, and so I've had to use these Band-Aids to keep them from getting ripped open. And of course that gets in the way of me being able to feel properly with my fingers. Let's get this straight. And what I want to do is I want to get this in here and get as much of the board. There we go. That's good. That's good. And then I'm going to tighten her up. And there we go. She's tight. And we'll let that set for a while, for a night, and then I'll add the next board. Okay, now we've let this dry for 24 hours. We're gonna take it out. This looks pretty dry. And now we're gonna take this and glue the next section on. All right, now we're gonna put a nice section of glue right here on this South American walnut. That should be enough. And then our next one is gonna be Spanish cedar, so I'll put a little bit on here, not too much. As I said before, we want to get it into the pores of all the different parts. And it's important, like I said, to make sure that you cover the whole thing, and any excess you can either wipe off or just let it drain out the sides. And because we're going to turn this later on into our little man. It'll be the main focus of this grand trophy. And we're ready to put the next section on. So I'm going to put it right here. Sandwich that on just like that. Give it a good push down. You see the glue squeezing out from the sides. Get it all matched up. And I'm going to put it back in the vise again. Set it right here. So I'll put it like this. So what I do is I hold it like this so it stays, because otherwise it'll slip and slide. And I'll just push the vise in. A little bit of it sticking out so I can get my fingers in there. And there we go. We'll just lock her in, just like that. Nice and tight. And we'll give that another 24 hours and we'll put the next piece on. And here we are again. We've glued these up. Let's open the vise up. There we got right there. It's our 3 sandwich pieces. And now we're going to sandwich the next one on. And here we're going to have the Spanish cedar, and we're going to put the oak on top of the Spanish cedar. And let's get our glue out. Oops. And we're just going to run that bead of glue just like we did on the last one. And we're going to run it here. There we go. Just going to rub it in, get it into the pores, just like this. And the one thing that is always fun about making these things is that they look so awful in the beginning. A glued together conglomerate mess. And then in the end, they turn out to be really great. It's kind of like whenever you bake a cake or something. You mix all this powdered stuff together, liquids and eggs and all this messy stuff, and then it comes out to be a beautiful cake in the end. And that's basically what we're making. We're kind of making a wood cake, you might say. This is a layered cake. So here we've got everything's put together there, all the glue's on. We're going to put that right on top just like that. I'm going to press it in. Kind of get some of the squeeze out. I'm going to put it in the vise. Okay, again, you got to line it up, make sure it's straight. So make sure it's straight. Hold it with 2 fingers. Make sure it's like that. And we're going to put it in just like this. Right there. That's good. Hold it right there. Give this a little bit of turn. See, now see it started to slip on me. Put that in, and then we're just going to sandwich it all together. Get it nice and tight. And we'll be back in another couple of days. Or actually, it's been about 2 days or 3 days since I did the last, so this will be at least another day. And of course, you can always wipe off some of that so you don't have soap. If you wipe it off before it solidifies, obviously you're not going to have all that as much glue buildup. While we get to this point, and I could have done this earlier, glued the pieces together. This is kind of expedite things. So I'm going to go ahead and glue. I just now did put the oak in the other one. I can't remember now. But we're going to take the Brazilian cherry and the lacewood from Australia. This is really beautiful once you get it all polished up. And we're going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together because there's really no reason not to. Of course, it helps if your glue isn't almost out. There we go. I'm going to glue this up, and I'm going to put the vise, not the vise, but I'm going to put the C-clamps on this. Oh, wait, I want to glue this side. I'm going to glue this side. Right here. Put our Oreo icing in the middle of our Oreo cookie. Put that up there. And we're going to rub this in just like this, so. Just like we did on the other one. And by doing this, you're speeding things up, because then when this dries, I can glue the whole conglomerate together and let it dry, and that'll kind of make up for some of the time I've already lost. I could have glued the other one together that I just did a couple of days ago, but time got away from me. I was working on another film. Smoked some cigars, had some bills to pay, and so now we're just getting to this, which is just fine. Everything's going to be just hunky-dory. I'm going to put it right here on the Brazilian cherry. This is the lacewood again. I'm going to do that. Now this time, I'm going to use these C-clamps right here. Just open these suckers up, and okay, now this time it's a little bit tricky. You got to close her up, and you got to keep it straight. You got to keep it straight. Tighten that up right there. That's good. And yeah, you get to glue all over. It's part of the deal. It's just part of dealing with sticky matters. Tighten that up, nice, tight, really tight. There you go. We're gonna let that set. Clean up easier on that. Turn that off. Wipe some of this off. Get that off. I'm gonna have to sand one side of that. And we'll come back in a couple of days when this is done. All right, now this has dried for 2 days, so I think it's sufficiently dry. You know, you can always tell how dry things are with the residue of glue that you leave on them. And usually when it becomes, the more clear it becomes, the more milky it is, the still how wet it is. But the more, well, you'd say the more decayed look gets you a more dry temperature on the glue. So when it looking like caked on vomit, you might say, that's been there for a long time, then you know it's dry. So we'll take those off, and then we're gonna take this out of the vise. Well, folks, that's all for this episode. This rounds up part 2 of the show, and we're gonna have a lot more parts to go because as I say, I'm going through this thing very slowly with you, because not that necessarily that you want to build a trophy just like mine. Maybe you have your own design, but maybe some of the things that I'm showing you, you can use in your design, or some of the techniques. Anyway, join me next time for part 3 of this white elephant trophy, where you can see me in the wood shop as I build this thing step by step. I'm trying to walk you through it. My name is Colonel Jim A. Love. This is Barbed Wire Strategy. I'll see you next time. Good night.